All right, if you've just joined us, you're watching Newslink on DSTV channel 403. Now, it's been a turbulent time for the airline industry. First, COVID-19 took them out of the skies, and just when it looked like it was cleared for takeoff, it was hit by high fuel costs and shortages. While the Airlines Association of Southern Africa is holding its annual General Assembly, Tourism Minister Lindiwe Sisulu is set to address challenges with local flights. Let's find out what we can expect from the aviation specialist, Phuthego Mojapele. Phuthego, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Honestly speaking, it really has been a difficult time for aviation. What kind of interventions are needed from government on their side, considering the current crisis?
Thank you very much. Look, there has been a couple of issues that airlines have been struggling with. Firstly, the fuel price that we all know that it's been quite hectic, even for just normal consumers using their own cars. It has been quite very expensive. And the second thing is that the rand-dollar exchange has not been very friendly to us, particularly for us in South Africa, currently trading at 18.20 as we speak. And that kind of dollar-rated fuel cost, as well as the market that has been shrunk since a couple of airlines, including Mango, Comair, and SA Express, move out of the market. What we could expect here, particularly on from the department side, is seriously looking into other players that can come into the market, and also how we can stimulate the economy, particularly on the transport sector. But I don't think it is going to be really much. It's going to make any impact as far as intervention is concerned, because these are things that we, as a aviation industry, have no control of. I mean, we don't have a control of the fuel price, and also the fact that there's
and neither
no
does government in this instance. So it really is a very difficult one, because you mentioned the fuel, like you say, we do not have control over the fuel prices in the country, but beyond that you also speak of just the space that you're in right now, insofar as having less connectivity because some players have left the market. How much control can government really have on that?
Yeah, what has been happening lately is that we have seen the International Licensing Council issuing more opportunity to those that want to come into the market to be able to participate. And I think that's one positive thing that one can note here. The Air Licensing Council have issued a lot of licenses to the airlines to operate, meaning that if you want to start up an airline, it's very easy to approach them, and they can easily grant you the routes. That's why they're going out on the market to try and get those routes that are being held by operators like SAA, that we know for the fact that they are not operating those routes. So what we have seen is the International Licensing Council taking those routes from them and allocating them to the likes of FlySafair, the likes of Airlink and Sun-Air, and those others that want to operate. And I think in that way, we are going to see them increasing capacity, purchasing or leasing new aircrafts that they're going to put into the service. And once they get that into place, maybe we may get a little bit of reprieve, particularly on the price that we are currently paying for the airline. But as far as SAA is concerned, they're just not helping. Even if they're operating, they're just not helping. They're too expensive. They only have 7 aircrafts to operate, and surely they're not going to make any impact in the market.
When you speak of the price, that has been of great concern, but we're hearing this talk of regulating those spiraling prices. Would that assist in any way?
I'm not sure how we are going to regulate this. The airline system is very complex to regulate. You have 3 categories of prices on ordinarily on the airlines. You have the low, the mid, and the premium, which is high. Now, usually, because of the demand, it's high. The ones that the allocation of the low prices once they come on the market, they go much faster, much quicker. And then you are left with the two categories, the second category will go much quicker, and then you'll be left with the most expensive one. Now, when they are going to regulate that, I'm not sure how they're going to do it, how they're going to be able to get it right, unless we get more operators that can offer more of those much lesser prices. I really don't know how they're going to do it. And maybe they will explain to us as to how they're going to do that, because airline systems is very complex, and that's how we operate, and that's how airlines make money.
But the Competition Commission, though, had spoken or warned them against increasing these prices and taking advantage of the difficult situation. So, I mean, ethically, would they not be compelled to actually relook those prices currently? Because many people are complaining that just to book a plane ticket to Cape Town has become too much.
It is expensive. I agree with you. Many people have approached me and asking me if there's anything that we can do. There's barely minimum that we can do in the industry. As I said, the demand is currently very high. You have limited capacity. Now, it's economic, normal economics. You have more suppliers. You've got less supply, but more demand, and you are going to pay a premium. Competition Commission needs to understand two things here. One is that the aviation industry is regulated by fuel prices. Now, the margins as far as making money into the fuel cost that they spend, it's very, 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 very small percentage of them making money. The second thing is that how are you going to regulate when the demand is very high and you have these three categories that I've just mentioned? How are you going to regulate that? Are you going to say increase the number of the low prices and reduce the number of the high prices? It is going to be very much complex for them. I don't know if they understand how the aviation industry operates. Maybe in this meeting, they will be able to get somebody who can explain to them what is it that they need to understand so that they can come and assist. But at the moment, those that want to go to Cape Town for this festive season, they really need to prepare themselves to be on N1 driving all the way down, because the prices are going to be exorbitantly high. It's not going to be business as usual this year.
No, this is honestly heartbreaking. But then that talks about needing more entrants into the space. But it's a capital-intensive industry. So really the startup capital is a lot. And that's why I asked, is there any intervention that government can actually be part of here to assist so that we have more players?
Our government had an opportunity. If our government was interested in helping South Africans, they would have done that by saving Mango. They would have done that by saving SA Express. At this stage, they are busy destroying all those institutions that were there, all those airlines that were made for our people to be able to afford traveling. I just don't think that they have an appetite of, giving us a break on what we are paying. In fact, one of the politicians, if I'm not mistaken, EFF, they did warn us that we're going to pay high. Should these entities of government-owned entities disappear from our skies, we are going to end up paying very high. And indeed, this is happening. Government have no appetite of helping us as far as paying exorbitant amount of money on the flights. They will not do that, because if they want to do that, they would have saved Mango, they would have saved SAA, they would have saved SA Express. So even now, we are struggling to find this Takatso deal to come to place. They are moving from one pillar to post, and clearly there's no interest in the government. We should rather look outside the entrepreneurs that want to come into the market and support them and give them the support that they need to come into the market. Once we can have independent people that are interested in the industry, starting up the new operations, South Africans are very much not difficult to support businesses that are starting up. And I'm sure we will be able to find decent prices on those new operators that would come. We have a very much strong licensing council that revoking the licenses that are with SAA and are giving to the operators like your Fly South Air. And I'm sure if we can get more operators like that, we will see the price coming down.